And now, another episode of MMA Gossip with your boys.
Boom. We are live, baby. MMA Gossip, episode number 81, back in your life, and we are ready to fuck. We got a lot to talk about, even though there's not that much going on this weekend. UFC is taking a week off. Bellator is slacking, not taking advantage. They're also back next week, but I think their card next week is better. The main event definitely is, but that really hasn't meant much. We could get into that. That is something we should talk about this episode, how Bellator is just not getting the views that even I, a hardcore fan would expect. But other than that, I mean, Dan Hardy calling out Tyron Woodley, Vitor Belfort fighting fucking Evander Holyfield, Oscar De La Hoya's got COVID, Joe Rogan is the fucking news because he beat COVID, and it seems like half the world just wanted him to die. As fucked up as that is, I mean, the guy got better, and it just seems like people wanted him to be more sick. But I'm happy he made a full recovery. What else we got going on this weekend? Not too much. Contender Series was yesterday. We're coming off an okay card. I mean, Paddy Pimblett seems to just be the star. Dude, his Instagram got fucking hacked, deleted. He started a new Instagram account, and he's got over 500,000 followers already. So fucking insane, because his old Instagram account was at 155,000. So he's already 5x that in a week, basically. So good for him. Tom Aspinall did his thing. It's pretty much everyone, all the Liverpool guys except Darren Till. Darren Till just folded. So match favorite fighter loses yet again. What's next for him? We'll get into that and much more. I'm sure Mikey will have some questions for us. I'm kind of just spitballing off the top because there's not really any major events this weekend. I mean, I know Vitor Belfort said his fight is the fight that fans have been dying to see, but that really can't be the case because it just got made 2 days ago. But also Tito Ortiz and Anderson Silva are fighting. I didn't even mention that, but here we are.
Yeah, it's funny. Mixed martial arts started as like a circus back in 1993, and then it started to gain some validity, and now it's going back to its circus roots and just putting on these funny ass fights. But no, yeah, Paddy Pimblett, that was funny. He goes, Instagram, give me back my followers, you lizards. Which is funny because I don't know if you guys know about this like whack conspiracy theory about like the elites are like lizard people and they just fucking run the world. Anyway, I thought that was funny. And if that was what he was referring to, that's fucking hilarious. But yeah, let's just talk real quick about Till. I mean, like Matt, you talked about how he, had a torn ACL. And like, I just feel like it doesn't matter because he still came to fight and he still lost. And then you can make the argument, well, Brunson came with what? Broken ribs. He couldn't even drive his car, people were saying. So it's like, bottom line is he looked awful. He looked good on the feet, but the takedown defense was not there, and his get-up game was non-existent, which at this level, at this high of a level, you got to have that. You got to be able to hip out, get to the fence, and work your way up, and he had none of that. So I know, Matt, you're a big fan. What are your feelings on the fallout?
I mean, he looked like shit, but I'm not going to ignore a torn ACL. It's just like, that's not saying, oh, I had a knee sprain. Like, that's defending takedowns. That's all that is. It's your hips, it's your legs. Like, if you can't move your leg laterally at all, even when he's on the ground and he's trying to shrimp out and he's like, he couldn't even do that. Like, I'm not making excuses. He looked like shit. I thought he was going to win the fight. I told everyone he's going to win the fight. It seems like every time I do that, somebody loses. But the only reason I'm not going to write him off is because he's 28. I don't think he's taking that much damage. Like, I think look at Cody Garbrandt, just give or take the same age. I'd have to double check. Like, when we would have those arguments, like, he's not really 28 in fighters years. Like, we've seen him get butchered a bunch of times. Like, with Darren Till, it sucks, man, because his rise was so quick and his personality and how he was on the mic was he was just an impressive feat for a second. Like, when he not knocked out, when he beat Wonder Boy and he got on the mic after that, I know that wasn't the most impressive victory at all, but he did beat Wonder Boy. He knocked him down. It's like, wow, is this really what's next? Like, he seems like the real deal. And all of a sudden, it really fizzled the fuck out. I don't know. I really don't know, man. I need to see him back in there again. He's going to be back. I mean, like I said, he's 28. But yeah, we saw this against Woodley too. He needs to work on his wrestling defense because he'll piece anybody up. Like you saw at Woodson, you saw it. Brunson didn't like it at all. He got hurt right before he finished him. He was 100% hurt in that round. And Darren Till just did what he did. And who was calling this fight? Because they kept making a great point about how Brunson always would lock his hands immediately. And I think that's what fucked Till right there again, was he got his hands locked and his hips were too deep already. And that's instead he started fishing for a guillotine. You know, he had a nice sweep fences there, though. I can't make an excuse. Everyone fights in the same octagon, but the fence was there, landed in mount, rest is history. But we just got to see what he comes back with. Obviously, he's got torn ACL. It's going to be a while unless he's Tony Ferguson, but we'll see. Not writing him off 100% yet. He's too young, in my opinion, and hasn't been hurt enough, in my opinion, to say, you know, he's done. But he's got an uphill battle. Chris?
Yeah, dude. I agree and disagree. He is a little old in fighting years, and going 1-5 in his last 5 is not a great look. He beat Cowboy Cerrone, and they kind of just springboarded him. Like, you know, he got that win. No one really thought he was going to get that win. I remember talking to you guys. I was at home at my parents' house. I think it was 2016, 2017, and I remember being like, I think Cowboy's just going to beat this kid and, like, you know, reinstate himself in the division, especially at 170. It's kind of like, this is Cowboy's fight. He flies halfway across the world, takes his fight, wins, moves on. Darren Till, no one really ever hears of him. Instead, he beats the shit out of Cowboy, stops him in the first round. They're like, who the fuck is this gigantic welterweight? And then his very next fight, he misses weight, fights Wonder Boy in kind of a lackluster fight. It is what it is. I think he missed weight by like 5 pounds. They take the fight. He wins. Okay, his post-fight speech was exciting. And then it's been downhill since. He got dropped and subbed by Woodley, put out by Masvidal, won a I almost said a controversial win against fucking Kelvin Gastelum, who you are the first to shit on that, who I think is pretty good. But Kelvin Gastelum had his own fucking problems. Lost to Whitaker, no shame there, and then now to Brunson. So he's essentially lost 5 fights in a row in some people's eyes. Not looking too great. That split decision over Kelvin Gastelum is his saving grace. Otherwise, he's on a 5-fight skid, and that's not a good look. I mean, he's got the name value. He does seem like one of those guys that just gets hurt a lot. Like, I know torn ACL is nothing to play with, but then it was his broken collarbone before that. He broke his nose before that. He hurt one of his other legs before that. So he's just been a bit inconsistent. This was his first fight this year, I believe. And, you know, now with torn ACL, he's definitely not going to fight again this year. And I think he only fought once last year. So he is one of those guys that gets hurt a lot. So I know he is only 28 years old, and I'm not completely discounting him just because he has that name value. He'll always be someone at the top of the division, but I am discounting his talent at this point. I just don't think he's elite at anything. He's supposed to be this striker, this sniper striker, and he just didn't look like that. Brunson is very, very hittable. I know he did hurt Brunson a little bit, but that's Brunson's MO. Brunson toughed it out, and I think he just got himself his 5th win, and he is right there at the cusp of the title shot. I think he should fight Jared Cannonier, and winner of that fights for the belt. I think that's the fight to make, and that's it.
Yeah, let's go back to Brunson really quick, because we do this on this podcast a lot. Like, anytime somebody wins that, like, we really didn't think he was going to win, we talk more about why the guy lost and not why the guy won. Like, Brunson looked great for what his game plan was. Like, he executed perfectly, but he doesn't get that fight to the ground. Like, his stand-up is exactly what the 3 of us said it was. Like, it's just...
He said he was going to win.
Fuck it. You did?
I said I thought Brunson was going to win.
You did. You're all right, fair. It was me and Mike then. But nonetheless, like, anybody, not that I've seen anybody say this, but anybody that wants to see him versus Izzy again, is just like, the same exact thing's going to happen. Like, if that fight was to happen, the same exact outcome is going to happen, if not faster than it did last time. Like, it's just Derek Brunson's not having this late resurgence in his career that's going to carry him to some Bisping type story, in my opinion. I just think he caught a guy at the perfect time and took him out. Executed, did what he was supposed to do. But I still think it's what, like Chris said, like, you have to look at Darren Till from a different perspective now. Like, I think I'm holding his opinion a little too high now, and Brunson beating him to me now is like, nah. Like, I would like one more fight before Izzy, because let's be real, Till wasn't fighting Izzy if he won this fight either. So I think he needs a couple more still.
Yeah, I don't think Brunson deserves a shot just yet. And I do think Cannonier is a really bad matchup for him because let's be real, Brunson's wrestling his way to victory against non-wrestlers, right? Who was it? Um it was Kevin Holland, Till, and who was the other one that he just
Bosnian.
Shimazian, right? Who's got no ground game whatsoever. So I'm not buying it just yet. But and then they were talking about, I think someone said Till should drop back down to 170, which I think has the potential to be a good idea, but not the way he was doing it prior, which was just basically depleting his body with no, no like strict regimen of diet or weight loss, and then he just killed himself in the sauna and then steps on the scale like a zombie and then tries to rehydrate. I mean, I thought that was a big reason why he got knocked out by Masvidal. So if he decides to go back down to 170, I think it has the potential to be a good idea, but he has to do it the right way.
I see, like, not the, and we could continue talking about this just because there's nothing else really going on. I don't really think it'd make a difference. I think he'd be more depleted. And like, who is he fighting? Look at the top of the wrestling food chain in that division. Like, they're all going to put him on his butt. Kid needs to learn how to fucking wrestle. Colby Covington would sit him on his ass. Kamaru Usman would sit him on his ass. Like, I don't think it's a matter of his weight because he's a huge dude. I think he really needs to figure out how to fucking wrestle. And not, if he's not figuring out how to wrestle, how to prevent any wrestling from happening in the cage. But I don't know. I don't want to see him cutting weight again. I'll never forget him literally army crawling at sauna, basically half dead. And I don't know what he could do differently that would make that not happen. That's how severe his weight cuts were.
I think that's a huge reason why he lost to Woodley. I think he said, like, I'm going to go on the scale and give everybody the middle finger and this, that, that. And like his battle was get making weight. And then he went out there against Woodley. He didn't fight his fight and got fucked up. And that's the last fight Tyron Woodley's won. Literally the last fight Tyron Woodley's won. When we get into Tyron Woodley, Dan Hardy calling his ass out, calling him a pussy, basically.
Chris,
saying like, yeah, dude, Woodley sounds like a bitch now. Like, he's being such a baby with this fucking tattoo. Like, they made a bet. Loser gets a fucking tattoo. Get the fucking tattoo, you idiot. Like, that's it. You lost. Now he's like, I want to see some paperwork for the rematch, and then I'm gonna go get the tattoo. Like, Woodley, you blew it, dude. You fucking blew it. It's just like when what's his name? Julian Marquez fucking wins his fight and gets the shout out from Miley Cyrus, and she's like, if you get a tattoo or whatever, a fake tattoo, a henna tattoo, I'll go on a date with you. Goes, okay, fine, but you have to get the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's like, dude, you blew it. Like, I just think of fucking Billy Madison. You blew it. You know what I mean? Fucking Woodley, you blew it. You're an asshole. Sorry, I rooted for you. So did the whole MMA world, whether they admit it or not, rooted for you to beat Jake Paul. You didn't. No one wants to see it again. Like Dan Hardy said, your opportunity passed you by. Shut the fuck up.
Fucking Woodley.
What do you guys say? Agree, disagree?
No, I thought Woodley was a pussy even before the fight. I mean, I thought like, okay, probably, run down hard times, divorce, whatever, not money's maybe not flowing in. You're doing weird rap videos and you're just doing weird videos in general. And it's just like, all right, you got the money fight, man. Here's your chance, man. You're gonna get fucking 2 million, probably more. And then you go out there and you're an asshole. Like, you were literally dictating where the fight went. You were pushing him up. For the first time in like 6 fights, you're pushing your opponent backwards. And you're just not, you're not throwing enough. You're just not doing it the right way. And you lost. And it's just like, dude, you're back to being irrelevant. I'm sorry. That's just how it is.
Fucking landed one punch and he's walking around the ring doing this. I'm like, dude, come on. You're showboating against a YouTuber, and then you didn't throw another punch for the next 8 minutes.
Dude, think about it this way. He lost 5 rounds to Kamaru Usman, 2 of which were probably 10-8s, right? He lost 5 rounds to Gilbert Burns. Also, at least one was a 10-8. He lost 4 rounds to Colby Covington and got stopped. And then he got stopped in the first round by Vicente Luque and then loses a boxing match to Jake Paul. No one on earth is interested in your combat sports anymore, nor your rapping, nor anything. I sound like a huge hater, huge Debbie Downer right now, but I'm just so... Woodley, you fucking blew it, dude. Like, no one wants to see you even get this Jake Paul tattoo anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. Jake Paul definitely doesn't give a fuck. You're not rematching him. Like, thanks for everything. Thanks for the memories. The Robbie Lawler knockout, the fucking, just winning the Strikeforce belt, winning the UFC belt. I don't want to say thank you for the Wonder Boy fights, but the Damian Maia fight, Darren Till fight, fucking Jay Heron, everything going back. But enjoy retirement.
Thanks for the high right real knockout loss to Nate Marquardt.
Nate Marquardt against the cage,
awesome.
fucking bobbing.
Yeah, man. That was a sick knockout. That's a highlight for the ages.
Dude, the worst part about that is Woodley said that was the first fight all his kids ever came to.
Oh, dude, that's awful. That's awful, man. That's awful.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Anything else on this card you want to talk about? I know we discussed Patty a little bit. I mean, he was not supposed to knock out Luigi, man. That's not his MO, but I'm so pumped for him, man. I mean, this was the perfect setup fight for him. I'm not expecting him to go. I'm not expecting him to be elite by any chance, stretch, but I do think the UFC might do the whole Sugar Show treatment and just give him some softballs and just build him up. And I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a humongous following from Liverpool. Cage Warriors, he's headlining shows. He wanted to be the double champ, and he was doing the damn thing, bro. He went out there. The crowd goes fucking crazy for him with the orange hair, the orange shorts, the fucking English flag, shouting at Liverpool, just going crazy. The accent, they fucking love him there. He could have been in the UFC 2, 3, 4 years ago and just literally chose not to. They offered him fights, and he just chose stay in Cage Warriors. He said he just loved what he was doing. He's partying all the time, just being the fucking man. And you know what? Perfect fucking timing. He's definitely played his cards right, because here he is now. I literally cannot scroll on my Instagram without someone messaging me. I have people some of my casual friends messaging me yo, have you ever heard of this guy, Patty Pimblett? I'm like, yeah, fucking idiot. I heard of him. I know you didn't until this weekend, but yes, I have. You know what I'm saying? But he really is the talk of the town. So good for fucking him. The one thing I will say, Aljamain Sterling made an excellent point. If they have that exact fight, 10 times, you can't win that fight 10 times the way Patty's just going forward, throwing hammers like that. That is not a sustainable way to fight. But I do think they're going to give him the Sugar Show treatment and just build him up super slowly, put him on, big spots against low-level competition, and just let him fucking do that. I've seen memes all over the internet of Dana with a fucking orange bowl cut. He even posted one on his Instagram today. So I was like, he's loving it. Patty's the fucking man. And he honestly is the best news and pretty much the only news coming out of the weekend. Before on the intro, I wanted to give the shout out to Tom Aspinall, because he deserves it. He's doing good stuff for the heavyweight division. And he's slow playing himself, which is fucking, he's doing it exactly right. Winning in impressive fashion. Looks better every time out.
I was going to say, I think we should talk about him a little bit. Guy's on a 4-fight, not only win, but finish streak in the UFC. Let's do a little matchmaking real quick. Who's next for him? Because as we know, in the heavyweight division, it doesn't take that much these days to be springboarded somewhere into the top 5 to 7.
Give him Derek Lewis.
I'm not putting there yet. I know exactly who I want him to fight.
Who?
He said after the fight, he called out Blagoy Ivanov.
Oh yeah, that's a solid. I like that.
He himself said that.
That's close to what I actually know. Why would he want? He's ranked higher.
Yeah, but he said he likes the test. He likes the test.
I want Tibura.
Oh, I have a good theory of why he probably wants Blagoy, because everyone's like, oh, Aspinall's never gone 3 rounds, cardio, this, that, and the other thing. He hasn't been pushed. He hasn't been tested. So he thinks, all right, here's my chance to go 3 rounds with a guy, because Blagoy is super battle tested, never been. I don't know, he's never been finished, but he usually goes all 3 rounds. So I think that's a perfect next step for him. Or if you really want to take him to the top, just give him Derek Lewis and you can beat Derek. I'm over Derek. Derek's
let him put a stop to this Marcin Tybura bullshit. How about we do that?
Oh, okay. I like that too.
He's ranked 8th. I don't think that's too out of his wheelhouse.
That's fair.
Definitely. He's 11th now. He was third. I think the other reason the Blagoy call out, I believe before the fight, he was 13 and Blagoy was 12. So he was just, looking up, but now he's got bumped up a little bit in the rankings. So we'll see. Who's Chris Daukaus fighting next? He had a fight. He had a fight and someone pulled out.
Shamil Abdurakhimov.
Oh, that's what it was, right? Yeah, because otherwise the Daukaus fight would have been sick. But
yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead, Mike. I was just gonna say I like his call out of Blagoy, and I like Matt's and Marcin Tybura. What were you gonna say, Mike? You said you had one. Or the Derek Lewis?
I said Derek Lewis, and then I said someone else as well. But the point I was trying to make is I think we've entered like kind of like a new era of heavyweights where it's like it's being the bigger heavyweight isn't necessarily the advantage. It's the speed and the athleticism and the movement and the output that's kind of taken over. I would say Gon kind of paved the way for that. And then you got Aspinall, you got Daukus. Trying to think of some others, but I mean, these guys I think have the highest ceiling over guys like, Lagoy, even the Polar Bear. Like a lot of sharps were on the Polar Bear this past weekend. And I get it. He's battle tested. He's got the takedowns. He's got the endurance. He's good enough on the feet. But it's like in my head, it's like the line was shifting. He went from like minus 300 to minus 200 quick. And I was just like, yeah, but he's way faster and way better striker. And it's just like, is the Polar Bear going to shoot? And then Aspinall's hips are going to be way back before he can even get to him. So, I mean, not that Polar Bear even went for a takedown, but it didn't even get that far is my point. So I believe in the athleticism in heavyweights that it's going to be a big deal in down the road. Top 5, top 6 are going to be just monsters.
Yeah, man, because I follow Curtis Blades on Instagram, and he's been posting pics. He was in the 280s, and he said he wants to cut down. He's not even, before he even thinks about fighting, he wants to lose a bunch of weight, and he's been posting pictures every day on his Instagram story. And I know right now he's like 265. So he's already lost about 15 pounds. And I'm sure he's trying to get lighter than that. Because if I'm not mistaken, he was fighting in like the mid 240s not that long ago. So maybe that's like his happy fighting weight, but we'll see. But yeah, I think that's just even further proving your point, Mike, of the athleticism.
Yeah. Anything else on this card, guys? Got a couple of questions here I can ask you.
Not on this card. I got nothing for you.
Nothing.
All right. So eye pokes. I was listening to, a couple of podcasts, and they were just talking about how, the first warning should be in the locker room. And then the moment it happens in the fight, it should be a point deduction because, you talk about other sports, football, for example, you get a penalty, there's an automatic penalty, right? You do something, break the rules, there's a penalty. But obviously that would really change the outcome of the course of the fight. But then you could also say the eye poke itself changes the course of the fight just as much as the point deduction does. So I want to know, what do you guys think in terms of, do you think that the first penalty should be a point deduction, or do you think it should kind of follow suit to what it's doing right now, where it's just like such a varying kind of sport where it's like, yeah, it's going to happen. It happens in sparring. It happens in training, that the point deduction off the first eye poke could be really detrimental. What do you guys think?
I think that you can't take a point away in a 3 or 5 round fight first an accident. Like, I think the referees do a great job at distinguishing between like a true accident and a guy that's just clearly not obeying the rules and is constantly using his fingers as rangefinders, right? So I just think in a 3-round fight, you can't be taking a point. Like, what if that happens immediately in the first round? That changes the dynamic of the whole fight, and you're fighting out of an insane hole. And more fights are 3-round fights than 5-round fights. And I think to your point about how the eye pokes affect the fights, I think it just goes back to what a good job the doctors do of stepping in there if it's something that's insanely drastic. And if the referee, I think we've seen before, if the referee deems it too serious right off the bat, he'll take a point. I've seen it taken, the first time if it's that extreme. I kind of like it how it is. The only time I really do get annoyed, though, is if it happens twice and there's still no points. I think there should be a set, if it happens one time, warning, another time it's a point. Because there's been a lot of times where the referee uses his judgment and said, I warned you once, I warned you twice, next time's a point. Well, again, it's a 3-round fight. How much leeway are you giving the guy? I think there should be a fine line. I think that fine line is you're allowed once. That's it. One fuck up. And then after that, it's a point every single time.
Chris,
I just think there's too much at stake.
Yeah, I pretty much agree exactly with Matt. So I'm not going to reiterate it. What about like groin strikes too? So just to further what Matt's saying is, you can't do it. It really is an accident, right? They never mean to do it. So I think that a point right away really does fuck them up. Sometimes they're not even bad. Like sometimes they'll get them and they'll wipe their eye and 15 seconds later they're good. Sometimes they need the full 5 minutes. You know how fighters have a lot of pride, right? What if not that I'm saying it was up to the fighter, but if the fighter really was that hurt, maybe up until the halfway point of the fight, just like, how in boxing, if there's like a clash of heads after the fourth round, it's actually official. Well, after like before a minute and a half into the fight, you can almost make the fighters take the point away from their opponent in a way, because I know they want to win the fight, but fighters are too tough for their own good, right? Like, if fucking Cowboy Cerrone was fucking fully blind in one eye, he would still say he could fight. You know what I'm saying? So like, he wouldn't ever step out of the ring. But then again, you've got like Diego Sanchez who would take the point just to fucking win the fight. Anyway, I think I agree completely with what Matt said. You can't take it away on the very first time unless it is like detrimental. Then it's up to the ref's discretion. But I think the first one is a warning, and then after that, you're fucked. Like, even a groin strike, any foul after that should then be warning. Like, dude, you fucked up. It was an accident the first time. We get it. Accidents happen. Even accidents happen twice. I get it, but sorry, you already used your fucking accident, motherfucker.
Well, didn't that happen on this card? Wasn't it? It's one of the earlier prelims. The guy had an eye poke, and then he had a groin strike, or vice versa. They might have happened the opposite order, and he didn't take a point.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's also not a rule, and it's
it was I'll tell you the second I say it, I'll remember. It was the what's it called fight. I can picture the guy too. I'm just gonna butcher his fucking name.
Who was it?
The first fight. It was Marc-Andre Paul. The other guy. Yeah.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that no matter what, dude, a foul's a foul. But I don't. Again, here's where it gets tricky. Maybe not the other way. Like, maybe if you get a nut shot first and then an eye poke, is it the same as getting an eye poke and then a nut shot? It's just, dude, the line is so fucked up.
I agree with both of you guys. I don't think the first offense should be a point, but the second one undoubtedly should. And it's up to the ref's discretion, and they usually do a really good job of it. But but you have to look at the other side of the argument. It's like, you're 3 rounds into a fight, in a 5-round fight, and then you get hit in the nuts, and it's a really bad one, but it's the first one. That's going to change the course of the fighter who got kicked in the nuts. Like, his whole game came to a screeching halt. Now he has to recover and then re-enter the fight with no penalty to the other guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
while the other guy's recovering.
Right. The other guy's recovering, and, and then it happened last night on the Contender Series. Chidi Njokuani, it happened to him. It was the first nut kick. It was pretty bad. And then the second one was even worse. And I was like, damn, like I saw it in Chidi's eyes. It's like he did not want to continue, but he knew, like, this is a Contender Series fight, man. I got to continue. And good props to him, man. He really came back to the fight and dominated. But it really does. It's a fine line, man. I don't want to be the one to make the decision, but I have to agree with you guys. And crazy sport.
It is such a fucked up sport. But yeah, that's I think that's the final decision, boys. The MMA Gossip rule book. First one's a warning. Second one, motherfucker, you're fucked.
And what about the third one? If it's a third one, do you take 2 points away?
Yeah, dude. After that, you get another fucking point. And guess what, dude? If you fucking eye poke someone 3 times, you deserve to fucking not win.
We've seen that happen. I can't remember the fight, but I've seen 2 points taken for sure.
Yeah, it happens, bro, and it sucks. But you're fighting at such a supreme advantage. It's not, if nothing was going to happen after 2+ eye pokes, I'm going out there and throwing eye pokes. Like, like, I'm not going to get penalized for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, guys, I really don't have much left. I mean, I highlighted that Justin Gaethje wants to fight 3 rounds versus 5 rounds against Michael Chandler because he claims he gets paid the same. And this is a while back, but he was initially pissed off that Oliveira and Chandler were the ones who got the bout for the belt.
I agree with him on that, honestly.
Yeah, I feel him on that. That was just like kind of a head scratcher, but I didn't mind it because I'm pumped for Charles Oliveira, but I see where he's coming from, and now this is his chance to kind of get that shot. And I do think that he wins against Chandler, but I just don't understand why he would want 3 over 5. Like, why would you want to take that risk of losing 2 rounds? Not I really don't think it's going the distance, even if it's 3 rounds, but why would you want to take that risk of possibly losing 2 rounds out of 3 and then having to hustle back in the third one when you can maybe play it cool and then kind of work back into the fight for the next 3 rounds? I didn't understand why he would do that. Do you guys, I mean, is it a difference in training? Is it a difference in game planning? I mean, obviously it is, but I just feel like the advantage for no matter who you're fighting, you would want those 2 extra rounds most of the time. I don't know if it's just me. I want to hear what you guys think. Just for safety, anything can happen. It's mixed martial arts. You could lose those first 2 rounds.
Well, I know when you fight 5 rounds, you get paid 25 grand more, I believe it is. But I mean, to Gaethje, it's probably what he means by not making any more money, because he's probably making a couple $100 grand to fight anyway. But maybe he sees something in Chandler's game, like Chandler's got cardio, right? Chandler can go 5 rounds. He can wrestle for a good amount of time. But I mean, Gaethje can go 5 rounds all day too. So I don't really think it makes a difference. I don't see the difference. Maybe I have to like tape study or something, but maybe it's clearly something Gaethje sees, that he could just put on a fucking pace on Michael Chandler for 3 rounds. Maybe that's what he's thinking. You know what I mean? He could come out and just fucking do anything Michael Chandler could do over 3 rounds better. So maybe he knows. Only he knows. Any analyst in the world will never know as good as he knows, you know?
Yeah.
Matt?
Am I still muted? No, I'm not.
No.
I completely agree with just what Chris said. If I had to guess, I just think it's a pace thing. I think he wants to come out hot and just you have 15 minutes to keep a guy on his back foot, and I think he knows he'd be able to do that. I again, like Chris said, I'd have to watch some tape and see, but I'm not buying that $25,000 isn't that much of a difference. Like no matter what you're making, like 25 G's, 25. You're not talking like $500. I don't think that's anything to do with it. Even though he claims, I think he sees something in this game.
Fair enough,
dude. Like I would fight for fucking 10 rounds if it meant an extra $25,000. But granted, that's me and I'm fucking broke because we can't get any type of sponsor. But nonetheless, that's another conversation.
For some cryptocurrencies to pop off. Maybe we'll get a cryptocurrency sponsor. We should just turn this into a crypto podcast.
Yeah, maybe the CEO of Litecoin will listen and fucking. Oh, I remember that kid.
He sold out. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. We need Cardano to pop off to like $8. They just start saucing out sponsorships.
Dude, if they pop off to $8, I'll lose my shit.
Dude,
I would
go the sponsor.
Yeah, literally.
I'll buy a studio. But anyway, boys, yeah. What else? What else is going on in the world of MMA? I'm gonna type in on Google right now. Let's see. I'm gonna type in MMA news. Let's see if we got anything else. What else is going on? Dan Hardy against the oblique kick. That's something we should have talked about.
Roundtree. That's what I wanted to bring up. The Khalil Roundtree fight.
I feel like we're on the same page.
I don't have no problem with it either.
It's a fight. I get their argument, but at the end of the day, their argument doesn't hold water because you're getting KO'd unconscious and getting brain damage as well. So yeah, your leg takes significantly longer to heal than maybe a knockout loss, but long term, I mean, ACL recoveries have been made leaps and bounds. Like you see these football players, their legs are stronger than they were before the ACL tear, So it's like, yeah, you're taking time away from them to compete. But at the end of the day, you're stepping in this cage fight, man. This guy's trying to beat you with the rules.
Yeah, he took out one of your limbs. You couldn't fight. That's it. That's the name of the game.
That's it, man. I mean, I hate watching it, man. I will look away, man. I don't like seeing their knee go like that, but it's part of the game.
Yeah.
No quote. No one from the UFC can get a hold of Tony Ferguson. He's gone rogue. Just won't pick up the phone. That's what I've been told.
He's probably lost in Big Bear.
I think he's just taking a lot of time for himself, and I honestly don't blame him at all.
I think he needs to fucking retire.
I want to see him. I mean, I want to
one more time.
Biased. I want to see him one more time. Let's just like, dude, if he really's got nothing for like someone young, like a very easy, not a very easily winnable fight, but top 15. Like if he can't fight the cusp of top 15, then it's just a straight up fall from grace, and
have him fight like Alex Hernandez.
He is old though, dude. He is what is he, like 38 years old almost?
Oh yeah, he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah.
So people forget that, and his body, like, dude, he looks so old. Like he looks decrepit almost. But that's, dude. The thing was with him, his speed and like just like will to just never like his never die will and stuff. That's what got him by at times where technique didn't. Like his cardio, his speed, his never die attitude, that got him by in times when he was kind of outgunned, and lately it just hasn't. He hasn't won a fight in 2 years. I mean, granted, he lost to Gaethje, who's, in a number one contender fight, Charles Oliveira, who's the current champ, and Beneil Dariush, who's in the top like 3 or 4. So it's not like he's losing the fucking scrubs. He won 14 in a row before that. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like he's getting absolutely mangled by these top 3 guys. Like
mangled.
He wasn't even in the fight and any of them for a moment.
Well, he did drop Gaethje, never forget, end of round 2.
He did. Most significant punch of the fight too, probably.
Yep. One person fell down in that fight.
You're right, man. I love your positivity, Chris.
Well,
you can tell you're a hardcore fan.
But other than that, fellas, that's all I got. I think that's episode 81 in the fucking books.
In the books.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you. I think we gained 5 YouTube subscribers this week. So that's pretty fucking awesome. So thank you for that. Keep that going. Like this video, hit the bell, comment, subscribe, help the boys out in any way you can. We genuinely appreciate it. This is our episode last week with AJ Shulo, AJ MMA Bets, and AJ MMA Betting. He's fucking really good dude. I followed him on all my personal accounts as well, and I was like kind of keeping tabs on him, see what he's up to. His tweets are great, informative. Instagram's the same thing. He's been liking all our stuff, so I think we made a good relationship with him there, and check out his stuff for sure. It's definitely worth it. I was on his website this week. He's got some good stuff on there. And yeah, man, the MMA gossip train will keep on rolling. Episode 82 in a week from today.
All right. Good.
I'll be back on schedule too.
Matt, any closing words?
Fuck Joe Biden.
Yeah, nothing that wouldn't get us kicked off YouTube.
Oh, don't forget Trump's commentating for Triller. Everybody should watch that. It's fucking awesome.
Yo, I didn't check and I meant to. Did Luke Thomas have any snark comments to make about that?
Oh, he actually had a kind of a funny one that I kind of laughed at. Chris, did you see it?
I don't think so.
Let me just say it real quick. It's kind of funny. I usually hate 99% of what he says, but this was pretty funny.
I saw Luke saying that the commission shouldn't allow Holyfield to fight. So I was like, all right, Luke, shut the fuck up. I totally get it, though. I totally get it. He's like 60, but anyway.
Yeah, so he tweeted out Donald Trump is doing the commentary tab, whatever, and on top of it, he goes, "Hi, Florida. We love Florida. What a great victory you had. And we're going to have an even bigger victory. Like these boxers, they'll win too. Not like me, but they'll win something. Lots of people say I should have boxed, but I said no. But they're right. He talks like Trump. Right, it was pretty funny. I thought that was really funny. So
that is funny, but Luke Thomas is a fucking loser. No, they're actually good for Luke Thomas, just not to just keep this episode going. But Morning Combat got sponsored by DraftKings, which is pretty fucking sweet.
That's sweet. Good for him.
That's the power of Showtime for you boys and girls. So good for them. Him and Brian Campbell. Their show. I mean, I don't mean this in a negative way, and there's no positive way to say it. I can't get into their show. It's very fucking corny, but they have, that's their niche and that's their personality and they're true to themselves. So good for them. Even though we disagree, agree to disagree, that's a fucking major key. And I have DraftKings stock. So let's get it. Shout out to Luke Thomas.
That's like over $60.
Yeah.
Good shit. That's only going to go up, man. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Get in, baby. Football season's about to start. It's about to skyrocket. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, help the boys out. We appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Yep.